Alright, I believe we are here. Yeah, this has been a while since we've done a real podcast. So, I don't even know what to do right now. My brain is just mush. We have not done a real legit podcast in over 10 episodes.
Which, how far did that go back? It was like February, I think we said, or March?
It would have been like the very beginning of March. And not that there weren't good interviews in there, but we had socially distanced. We had a whole bunch of interviews about coronavirus and how it's impacting different people, businesses, etc., etc. There was one in there mixed in that technically makes it not 10. The James Weston interview was not about coronavirus.
Yeah.
But everything else was Instajam's announcements, a couple solo casts.
Pittsburgh Jam announcement.
Yeah, just jam stuff. So, just staring at the list is like, wow, we've done no normal podcasts. And as you can tell at this point, obviously I didn't even start it out like a normal one. It's not normal. I'm having major technical difficulties.
Is your camera rolling? I see your face is up there.
Yeah. Mine is on, but I don't know if I'm leaving this in or not. I'm just solely using it for the recording. I think it's OBS Studio's not quite working. I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is, but whatever. Discord says that a bunch of other people are having similar issues, so
yeah,
kind of just rolling with it. Basically, multiple camera inputs right now is causing all sorts of weird hiccups, and I don't know how to fix it. It sounds like you probably can't.
Yeah, it sounds like right now everyone's having issues after looking at that Discord, because I checked it out myself too while you were looking at it.
Yeah. So, anyway, long, convoluted way to get there, but welcome to the Grindworks podcast. Episode 46 now. Joined by James Yuskas.
Yep, I'm just going to go with that. Let people figure it out.
No, James Usick. Basically, at this point, you may as well be a co-host.
Yeah, I know. Was this like 6 or 7?
Probably. But I also generally, I'm not a great just ranter. I am. That's a lie. But I generally like to have someone to bounce my ideas off of and carry a conversation. Otherwise, I ramble or just sit here quietly and say nothing.
It's like the vlog, kind of sickness, or not sickness, but just kind of, some people can sit there and just stare into it and just, what's up guys, we're here doing this, and then there's other people who are just like, I'm gonna show you tricks, and then just put the camera down, and that's basically it.
I've kind of learned that through game streaming and whatnot. The best way to describe how to handle that is to just explain everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Right now, sitting here with James at my desk at the Grindworks office, pen in hand, notebook in front of me, and we're really just going to crank this podcast out,
Drinking nice warm water.
Yeah, let me get a drink of water here, whatever. You can really go through everything like that. And when you're gaming, if you just explain everything you do, you're always talking.
Yeah.
But you can't do that playing multiplayer games with people in a party. They're like, would you just shut up?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you notice, those kind of streamers, they'll, sit there and just, joke about it, and it seems like they're not even playing a game. It seems like they're just putting a voiceover over the game. And
well, they're usually the same people that don't actually have cameras.
True, yeah.
We got a couple things to talk about today, but really not too much. really that the fact that we haven't done a podcast in like 10 episodes of a podcast was really bothering me.
Yeah.
And again, not to say that like those coronavirus ones weren't good, but like,
who wants to hear about that?
oh, everyone's so sick of it. The fact that I was even doing them and then they were turning out to be like the same discussions over and over, I'm like, okay, this is like banging your head off the wall.
I mean, it's interesting. I definitely listened to a lot of like the Wheel Mill one and the Skate 1-4, and even, I mean, the Weston one wasn't really about that, but at the same time, there was like a couple touches on it here and there, and the Mantis tattoo. Like, it was interesting from my point of view, hearing about how those industries are being affected, but at the same time, I know everyone else in the world is just like, I'm tired of COVID. I don't want to hear about it. When me, on the other hand, I'm like, I want to know it all, but I know there's like an audience, and it wasn't appealing to the main audience that we think is listening to the Grind Works thing now.
Yeah. Well, and that's its whole own discussion that can be had as well, but what the heck is going on here?
Technical difficulties again.
What is up?
Are you back up? Were we not on, or what?
No, we've been on.
Okay.
I'm just tired of the technical difficulties. It's really, like, this not being quite right, even though I'm aware.
Yeah.
It's still really annoying to me.
Well, man, I've been here for, I think, like an hour and a half, and we've just been sitting here trying to figure this out, and it's just been banging your head off the corner of the desk.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty annoying, let's put it that way. Especially when both cameras are working. Independently. And in the same program, and I can toggle between them, but I can't show them both on the screen.
Yeah.
That's very annoying. So, whatever. So, handful of things to talk about. Instajams. So, thank you to everyone who participated in Instajams.
Shout out to the Buffalo crew. Came in strong.
Not much of a shout out to the Pittsburgh crew because they just tagged us in all their posts except not doing that. And I'm just like, look, dude, I don't care how sick your clip is. I'm not sharing it right now. Like, I gave you the simplest task that you could go do whatever you wanted to with, and you couldn't be bothered. So, weird. Anyway, I feel a little bit salty about that, and I probably shouldn't. It is what it is, but, like, come on, dudes.
Yeah, there's more that can go into that with other jam stuff, but, yeah, let's just not do that.
Yeah. So, we did a week 0, and then 1 through 8, and then as we were getting closer to 8, we realized that we were going to be able to do the real jams. So, we put out some flyers for those, and then as everything kind of came to a close with week 8, we had 3 weeks between the first jam and the closing of 8, so we added week 9 and a week
makeup.
10, which was 2 weeks to make up whatever you missed.
Yeah. So,
anyone that had come into it late had a fair opportunity to, like, round out their entries and everything. And I'm going to be honest about this one. I had high hopes for this.
Yeah.
Not high hopes in the sense of, like, man, we're going to have 100 people entering every week or whatever. Although it's Instagram, Grindworks has 5,000 plus followers.
Wow.
And there were like 15 entries a week.
Yeah, but also it's a weird time because, like, not to say that wouldn't have happened any other time.
Yeah.
Because it totally could have, but, like, I know here actually in Pittsburgh, what was it? Polish Hill got filled with sand, and then somebody dumped sand in front of City Hall, which was sick.
Yeah.
But there's like that, and then the Niagara Falls, New York Park. I've never been there, and I went up there when I first started going up there doing my side work, and it was fenced off. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
But then all the other parks were open. And it's just this weird, like, I mean, street's a thing too, and like people were worried about going outside. Not many of the Pittsburgh bikers were, but still.
AKA none. No one was worried. No one was not doing their normal thing.
Yeah, it's kind of been the jokiest quarantine I've ever even. I couldn't even have imagined it would have gone this poorly, but still. I mean, it's still technically quarantine, and we're sitting in the same room.
But also, if we really want to go there and call this out, like, let's recap what they were. Week 0, do a bar spin in your house.
True. Yeah. All right. All right. So I got worked on that one.
Or your garage, or your apartment, or I mean, we opened it up to like on your back deck.
Yeah, because that's where I got worked.
Like, do a bar spin.
So I have that hammock set up on my back deck, and I went to go underneath it, and then there's like 2 feet of room to like roll, hop, throw a bar, and do it. I got worked like 15 times. I really should have just submitted all the falls like Derek did, but I didn't.
Derek's entry for that was incredible.
Oh, dude. It's funny because I was just watching, was it Chapter 96, that HCS edit?
Yeah.
And he was doing bar spins in that, and I'm just like watching the new. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, he said that he pulled one before he even put the camera out.
Did he? I missed that.
He pulled the fakey bar that he was trying.
That's so unfortunate. I just love the like panning shots of him flipping off the middle finger and like just smiling all like sadistically. That was a great thing. If you haven't seen that one yet, definitely not a plug, but go to the Grindworks thing and check that out.
I can probably just link to the Instagram. I think so.
Insta TV thing?
It's an IGTV, but I think I can put the link here.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
So that's, let's see, time is whatever. IGTV link for Derek. Week 0. Okay, so obviously that those excuses go out the window for week 0.
Yes.
Week 1, do a hill bomb.
Yeah, you could have, especially Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's all hills. Buffalo, we had like the trail hill.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't picky.
Yeah.
You could have rolled down your driveway and it would have been a hill bomb by all technicalities.
Yeah.
Realistically, and I put this out there to other people too, I'm like, if you grind a handrail, it's a hill bomb.
Yeah, you are going down a hill.
So,
I don't think people were thinking that far into it.
No, but, well,
they should have.
I answered questions about it. Let's put it that
okay.
way. Build and ride your own DIY spot. With the caveat that I already knew all these people had been building at the start of the thing, so they didn't have to record the building.
Yeah.
All they had to do was post a clip riding it.
Yeah. But Kevin's and mine was really fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your guys were awesome. BJs and PJs.
My favorite.
Yeah. that title is just stellar.
So bump jumps and pole jams, right?
Yeah.
All right, just so that.
I mean, you got every single person has a curb or something in front of their house.
I should have just linked a Pornhub link. Really should have.
Probably. Get Weird had basically 0 rules other than doing something on a bike. I mean, Matt filmed his in his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, what was... He filmed a couple.
Yeah, because he tried to do the one where he was just standing on, like, his wheels with no frame or fork, nothing, just wheels, and holding a set of handlebars or something.
Yeah, and he's like, he sent that, and he's like, don't post it. I'm like, dude, that is way too funny.
Yeah. Matt O'Connell, by the way, another Buffalo dude.
Yeah. And then week 5 had 2. It had the just peg chings or pedal bonks or whatever.
Which that made me realize I had been saying that very racistly for years. I wasn't saying chings.
Yeah, well.
It's like one of those you catch yourself like, wow, I've been an asshole.
I always say chink. It's peg chink, but I made a point of not doing that.
Yeah.
For putting a flyer out.
Yeah.
But Alright, so I wanted it to be Chinks and Dinks because I thought it was funny.
That would have been amazing.
But yes, it's Chings and Dings. Anyway, it was, again, everyone has a curb, right? Like they could have just done whatever.
Or as Matt from the freaking
Yeah,
bottle
the
cap on flat ground.
I mean, that's a whole side discussion. That IGTV that I posted of that has like 30-something thousand views.
And everyone's so pissed.
Of me not getting it. And the comments on it are vicious. I'm not linking to it, but it's there.
Yeah, it's, I remember watching it, like, did he get it one of those times? Did I blink? Like, what happened? And then I read the comments, and I was just like, oh.
I like Instagram. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Where you make the dumbest stuff ever blow up.
Yeah.
And then all the cool stuff, you're just like, no, we're going to brush that under the rug so no one sees it.
Yeah. It's almost like they know that hate gets more reactions. Like, a cool thing will get a like, maybe a comment, but very rarely even a comment. And like, the crappy stuff is like, no like, comments scathing, saving it so they can send it to their friends so that they can comment on it scathing more. Like, it's almost like they know.
Oh, they know. But no, I mean, I'm not sure how the algorithm works. I've never cared enough to really, really dive into it.
Yeah.
Because I know when you can use that to your advantage.
True.
But I don't know how it works.
Too
but
much
I'm
power.
assuming that once someone commented on it randomly that wasn't a follower because somehow they came across it, that it starts to spiral.
Yeah, just exponentially 10 more people, 20 more people, 30 more people.
Yeah. And then it starts putting it on the Explore page. Okay, so next one. Spin to win. Requires nothing more than doing a 180 in front of your house.
Matt's was real fun. It worked first try. I don't know if I told you that. Matt O'Connell's.
I don't remember his.
So it was me and this dude, Luke Graham. We were at the trails, Union Trails in Buffalo. And he went up and we picked him up and spun him 360 and nosedived him into the next landing. Worked first try. He was like, oh, let's do a test run. And him and I were just like, no. Picked him up, did it, put him in. Like, well, let's film it now. Okay. Thought you already were. I saw your camera was over there.
That's funny. Matt had a lot of good entries. I think he had every week.
Yeah.
If not, he was maybe one or two short. Dialed laps.
Trails.
Ride at some trails.
What's the criteria for trail?
Okay, that's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
Rail trail?
Yeah.
A path in the woods? It was open-ended. Everything about this was open-ended.
I would have loved if somebody just submitted like a 15-minute IGTV thing of them just mountain biking down a rail trail.
Yeah, me too. I think it would have been hilarious. Grind some shit. So...
What's the criteria for a grind? An inch? 2 inches?
Basically, I mean... You could have practically been Stalworks BMX and given it to you.
Yeah, with how few entries there were, like, anything.
Monster trucking, ride through trash or brush.
Yeah. AKA the first obstacle of any Binghamton Jam obstacle course.
Yes. Participate in Binghamton obstacle course. I mean, you could have even said grass, practically.
Yeah, if it was lumpy enough.
Yeah, or rocks. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, when you look back through this list and you're like, yeah, none of you guys participated in this.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Kinda
Now that
like,
you actually put it in perspective, that's disappointing.
Like, there was so little of a requirement that it's very frustrating. And then, like, I appreciate everyone that did it, and I hope it doesn't come off that, like, that I'm like, I wish more people did it because screw the people that did it, but, like, there was borderline zero reason not to do it.
Yeah, well, and obviously from our conversation we just had, we were both laughing about like the entries that were entered. So no, we are totally stoked on everyone that
Yeah.
like did their thing. It's just a bummer that all of the people that we know that tag hashtag Grindworks and everything are just kind of like, well, what about this Feeble Smith bar spin?
I'm like, dude, I asked you to ride down a hill, and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you should have done that Feeble Smith bar spin into a hill bomb, and I would have been like, that was sick.
Yeah.
Other thing that really sucked about this whole project was no one was doing the shout out, and I'm like, I'm gonna give like a huge round of applause to like your whole Buffalo crew.
Yeah.
And other people. I know Vince was pretty good about it,
Yep.
and Lindsay was trying to do really good about the shout outs and stuff. But like the point of it was that the shout out itself can practically be its own project and trick.
Yeah.
And like there were some that were funnier than the trick.
Yeah, like Kevin Zubas.
Yeah.
He would like spray paint it or chalk it or something. We had the grind box on dollies being towed behind a lawnmower, doing tricks with the shout out on the side of it.
Yep. Lindsay, her week 0, the bar spin in your house. She did like a pickup bar in her kitchen, and it had a sandwich made with Grindworks on it.
Was it like out of like ketchup or something, like Grindworks, or I missed that one?
I don't remember.
Huh.
I just remember that she made a sandwich, and I thought it was hilarious for so many reasons. Well, I'm doing the trick in the kitchen.
Making a sandwich. Oh, we're totally not sexist here. It's just funny.
I mean, she did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was hilarious. So, like, there were awesome ones, but just overall frustrating to only have like 15 to 20 per week.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, not a huge deal.
You got the Buffalo crew stoked. I mean, I can't speak much for here because, I mean, I was up in Buffalo doing side work for 4 months because I got laid off and unemployment's a bitch. Anyway,
more on that soon, maybe.
Maybe. But no, like the Buffalo crew was super stoked about it, and it was like, even though I didn't contribute to all of them because I usually kept getting broken off in the first 2 seconds of doing it, I was like, all right, well, I can't do it. You. We're all at the trails. You're fucking doing something. You're fucking doing something. Like, and it worked out. Like Mark did the lawnmower for the Get Weird, and you know all that stuff. So everyone was stoked up there.
That was the whole point. Was it was something to look forward to and do, because the reality of basic life from that point in March on was like there's nothing going on. There's nothing to look forward to. There's no bike jams happening for the foreseeable future at that point.
Yeah.
8 weeks I felt like was on the conservative side.
Yeah.
When we started it. But it turned out to be really just about right.
Yeah, it worked out kind of perfect.
And even so, we could make the argument that we probably shouldn't have even had the jams we had. You know, there's a whole bunch of logistical reasons that we wanted to do them, and a whole bunch of things that were coming up that were like, yeah, this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But, long story short, they happened anyway, and they were both fun.
Yeah, and everyone was pretty good about it. Like, the Pittsburgh one, people were kind of up on top of each other, but from my experiences here in Pittsburgh, no one quarantined. No one followed social distancing. I'd go into stores and people tell me to take my mask off.
Yeah, well, this whole area is just weird. But it's, I don't want to even take it political, but it's like a whole, just going to say right-wing mentality of like, you can't make us do this.
Yeah.
But it everything about it got skewed political, so there's kind of no way around it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's
I mean,
weird.
just to like kind of cut that conversation there just for the sake of like avoiding crap. But like the differences were like, so Pittsburgh was a street jam. You know, we were pedaling around. You could stay socially distanced if you wanted to. You could group up if you didn't care. That one was nice and easy. The Binghamton one was in New York State where they were handing out $10,000 fines to businesses that were non-compliant, and we were holding it at a business.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of beat that horse dead even in the 8-minute podcast that we had, but like, I do want to come back to that because it's a huge part of the Binghamton Jam.
Yeah.
But I think we're pretty much wrapped on the Instajam stuff, aside from the fact that, like, we had sponsors lined up for a lot of this. I was tracking all the entries. I was tracking...
Yeah, you got spreadsheets on that.
Yeah, I've got spreadsheets on that.
Like,
exactly.
Literally, I've seen them. Like, he's not joking. They're probably up on the screen now. I can't see it for right now.
So, tracking down to who entered first each week, who entered multiple times each week, who...
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, why not?
Fuck.
It's also fun. In certain instances, there was one in particular, and I can't remember which one it was right now. I think it might have been Get Weird.
Yeah.
That had, like, there was just a clear, distinct winner. I think it was Get Weird.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up.
Do we go into the history of Get Weird? Because it literally just started with me hanging out with Kevin and then getting inspired and then starting a hashtag.
No, I don't think we did talk about it.
Maybe
it was 6 that had a very clear-cut winner.
Alright, who was that? And what was that?
Spin to Win.
Okay.
Logan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one was a good one.
So, okay. Logan did a really sick Nada spin.
Yeah.
But that's really aside the point. So I'm tracking all this stuff, right? I know who entered how many weeks. I know who entered first. I know in certain instances who won, quote unquote. I had sponsors lined up for this. The fact that it took so many weeks, all of that started to kind of just filter off. And, you know, everyone was waiting to see either who won to mail stuff out to, or, the whole point was that it's participation trophies.
Yeah.
So anyone that entered was supposed to get stickers.
Okay. Yep.
Which led to, hey, I'll let you know how many I need for this.
Yeah.
And now I have practically nothing. I have stickers from one sponsor, and I have a bunch of stuff that I can cut and mail out as just Grindworks stickers. But when I look across the weeks, and it's like there's a handful of people that have 1 or 2 entries.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was like a lot of people doing this every week. How many Grindworks stickers do these people want?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone's...
You can throw some of these in. We're not going to say what they are,
Yeah,
but you can throw some of those in.
Well, I just don't think anyone's really all that worried about it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean...
It was just fun to get out and do stuff. The people who entered for fun.
Yeah, exactly. So, especially the people that entered weekly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when I was looking at it across the board, and I'm like, okay, well, this person entered the most, or whatever. Like, I had a lot that I wanted to do with this, and at this point, the whole thing just feels like it fell apart.
Yeah.
From the mild disappointment in the fact that the local scene didn't even want to participate, to just everything kind of falling apart sponsor-wise on it. And I'm not saying that these guys won't pull through, but, like, they also, every single company that was on that sponsor list did just sponsor the Rio Jam. And they did just send us a bunch of stuff for that. So now
Yeah.
it's like everything about this is just fluff.
Well, did any of them say that, like, hey, some of these should go towards the Insta-Jams, or...
I think everyone just forgot about it.
Yeah, that seems to be the case, and honestly, like, not to, like, be too much of a Debbie Downer, maybe, like, them hearing this, or, like, another reach out or something might get them to go into it, and, like, yeah, okay, whatever, but I know you've told me you did that with somebody, and I don't want to name any names or anything.
No, I mean, it's just... I do have some stuff. I do want to at least send everyone a Grindworks sticker, so I need to go through my entire long nightmare list. Because in total, so there was only like 15 or so entries a week.
Yeah.
But in total, I have, without knowing for sure because I missed some, and I haven't gotten this totally up to date, about 84 entries.
Okay.
So that's going to cost me a fortune to mail stickers to 84 people.
God, yeah. Well, I mean, all right, 84
Not
entries
really.
Or like 84
independent people.
Okay, all right. So, fuck. Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's going to be 55 cents a stamp.
Yeah, I mean.
And if I stuff the envelope good, then it goes up from there.
Yeah.
But
well,
probably be like $50 roughly.
I'll at least speak for the Buffalo Crew on this one. You can send it to one dude and he'll pass, like, send a note in there and he'll pass it out. But just to maybe make it a little bit easier on you, if anyone, which I doubt anyone will, but if anyone listening to this, like, has a preference on the sticker or something, go to the Grindworks website and just shoot Andy a message, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and just be like, hey, like, you know, if you're going to send me something, send me this one.
I hate that idea. That idea is stupid, James.
Do you hate it? Oh, okay.
No. I mean, anything like that. The problem for me is going to be even tracking all the DMs as they come in.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, it'll be a nightmare in its own doing that. All right, don't listen to me.
I'm going to... Well, you can. If you want stuff, just be like, hey, I entered this week, and you didn't send me anything because you're a dick. And I'll be like, you're right. You can email andy'sadick@grindworksbmx.com. I'll get it.
Oh, yeah. So, just, that was a subject in an earlier thing, but anything with the @ symbol, grindworksbmx.com.
Yeah,
right?
I get it.
Yeah.
Anything.
Anything.
It's pretty fun. And it tells me what you sent it to.
Oh, my God. Blumpkins at...
Yeah.
That's amazing. Plastic pegs rule, you suck.
Submerged Blumpkins.
Whoa.
Swimming pool pumpkin.
Jesus Christ, we're children.
Yeah, we are. But it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had higher hopes for that. That's really the short of it.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it went the way it did. I'm also fully gonna blame Instagram and their algorithms.
Yes.
Because if you post something with text, they don't share it.
Yeah, not to, like, interrupt this podcast, we'll try to keep talking while you're doing it, but I know you have yours set up as a business account. Can you look at how many views, like, one of those got, just, like, as a baseball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you have that off the top of your head as something simple? Like,
I never looked it up because I can tell you from a couple of things. One, never promote a post.
Yeah.
Never do it.
It's stupid.
No, the first time you do it, they know you're willing to spend money, and they'll never show your stuff again.
Did you promote a post before?
Yeah, I promoted the jams a couple of years ago.
Damn it. All right, yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think I spent like $5 on it. And I went from having, like, overnight, went from every post having about 200 to 250 likes.
Yeah.
To sub 100 on everything across the board.
That's ridiculous.
So they throttle it back heavy as soon as they know you're willing to spend money.
Well, listen to that, guys. don't spend money on the internet.
Yeah, don't. Unless you want to, but also don't.
Unless you go to Best Buy and they tell you that's what Amazon's for.
Oh, yeah. That's its own thing. Okay, so, content. How do I go back to this? Posts. So, what do we want to look at? We can look at
Just
reach.
look at one of the weeks. Yeah, like reach or... Yeah, reach. There you go.
Reach is probably the best, or impressions as independent people.
Yes, so either one of those two.
Alright, let's look at just impressions.
So wait, what's the I don't even know this. What's the difference between reach? You said reach is independent people, so what's... Or, no, impressions is independent people. What's reach?
I have to look that back up.
Don't
Can you
worry
look
about
that
it.
up while I'm looking
Yeah,
at these
I got
numbers
that.
quick?
Yep.
Okay, so impressions. You can generally say about 10% of your impressions like.
Okay.
So if I'm looking at 100 to 150 likes, I'm looking at about 1,500 impressions.
Okay.
So that's my average now.
So it's saying reach refers to the total number of unique accounts that have seen your story. Impressions measure the total number of times users saw your post story.
Okay, so like if they saw it in their feed and then they came back to the page.
Or
So
like
reach-
if you scroll
reach is
through
the
it like
better
5
number
times.
then.
Yeah. You know, you go on
Alright, let me
Instagram
pull
because you're
reach
bored and it's
back
2
up.
a.m.
Alright, so reach. Alright, I'm still going to say like 1,400 to 1,000 is pretty average for
Okay.
my posts recently, like this last year. So I'm just going to keep scrolling down until I see any of the Instajams.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
It goes highest to lowest on reach.
So he's already been scrolling for a bit. You guys can't see this, but there we go. I see one.
Alright, the highest reach that I've had is 772 on a Hillbomb one.
Okay.
766 on the week 0 quarantine bars one. 723 for week 3.
So out of 700
685
people,
on week 8.
Yeah, so out of 700, 600 people, 15 people entered every week. That's
And again, if you take 10% of that as like the likes or whatever, you're talking 50 to 70 likes.
yeah.
So like that's effectively, I'm assuming if they looked at it, they probably liked it.
Yeah.
Everything else is just they scrolled past.
Yeah.
Low 600s is where the numbers are.
Okay, that's just interesting stuff for like that's just for us to kind of like I guess the podcast people. Not too many people would care about that, but I mean it's kind of interesting. Like I don't know if you're trying to advertise, this is what happens if you spend money.
Yeah. And now the lowest one of those is 479.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and there's a good spread between that. But, like, when the average post is getting 1,400 plus, or 1,400 to 1,000.
Yeah, your highest one got cut in half for the Instagram announcement.
Well, I mean, the highest post I've had this year has 6,588 reach.
Well, okay, I meant like your highest Instagram one
yeah.
compared to your average. But yeah.
Yeah, and then even that got cut in half for some of them. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're talking just bad numbers. So it's not surprising, but there's kind of no way around it also.
Yeah. So that is definitely to blame. Like we're not putting it all on people, although the people that know us should know.
Yeah. Well, but so here's the other thing to mention on this too. And this is where when it comes to the local scene, particularly Friends, it's not that they didn't participate. It's that participating makes other people see it and go, I should do that too.
That's what I was doing in Buffalo that entire time. Like, all right, you're doing this. Come on. Get into it.
Exactly. So it's not it's not explicitly the not participating. It's that, like, we can anticipate that Instagram is hiding this. It's, it's like a shadow banned post, basically.
Yeah.
Then the only way people are going to see it is if, like, hey, I participated in this cool thing that Grindworks is doing.
Yeah.
And then someone else goes, well, I want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so, like, long story short, that's where the frustration comes from.
Yeah.
Also, long story short, I don't know when you're getting prizes for that. I need to reach out.
To everyone. And then they need to get back.
If that even happens. I do have a huge stack of stickers printed over here for this.
Yeah.
For the week 0 stuff. Again, was anticipating everything going better.
Yeah.
For all the other stuff and, like, having prizes from other people.
Yeah. This whole time I've tried to play devil's advocate and it just seems worse and worse.
No, I know. You're trying to look for, like, the good in it, and it's just...
Not.
It's not bad, but it's...
It is what it is.
If you asked me if I was going to do it again, the answer is probably no.
Yeah.
That's a fair way of putting it.
Yeah. And this isn't like we don't censor shit. We're not, we're going to tell you how it is, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to throw people under the bus, but the other thing is, like, you know who you are.
Yeah.
And if you think it applies to you, it probably does.
Yeah.
So, Pittsburgh Jam.
Yeah. Mark Diamond.
Mark Diamond.
Mini flips to puke. Fucking insane. I would not even do the only 2 tricks I do are tabletop and turn down and the occasional fly out bar spin.
Yep.
I would not have done any of those tricks off of that. He's like, I'm gonna flip it.
I bet you would have done a candy bar X up off of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. 3 tricks. 4 tricks, sorry. I was too busy riding the asphalt pile that we turned into a dirt jump.
Yeah. So, Pittsburgh Jam, though. 1.5 hours late to our own jam.
Always.
No. 15-20 minutes is normal.
Half hour was last year or the year before. I don't remember, but I remember one.
Yeah. 1.5 hours late. So, I understand that everyone that was at the jam at that point was pretty annoyed with us. Fair. No issue there.
But
I
it's not
take
all.
that. But
it's not all the fault because we had people crashing with us.
Yes, that's where I'm going with this. And I will throw someone under the bus here.
Yeah, which one? Who was it?
So, night before, we're hanging out, we're sessioning my grind box.
Okay. The only time it's ever been sessioned?
Yeah, exactly. It's before that, we're working on it. Everyone's putting their bikes together down here.
Mm-hmm.
Except Jesse.
Well, alright. Alright,
Okay.
I can't even feel bad. Alright.
Okay.
For those who don't know the situation, that says enough for me. Okay?
So, everyone else's bikes start together and we're sessioning the ledge. Except Jesse.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He was there. Chatting, hanging out.
Okay.
So, he keeps saying, I need to put my chain on. Okay.
Okay.
Morning of the jam, my car is packed and I am ready to leave at 11 o'clock.
Okay. So he's planning, it's only a half-hour drive from here, so
Well,
he's planning on being there a half hour early.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there for these people who don't understand.
Well, and then a 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
to 10, but 15 minutes
Okay,
up
so-
to there.
Yeah.
Okay? Loading the bikes on the car. Well, alright, the whole time I'm loading the bikes, or loading the car with all the jam prizes, the Florida dudes and Cam are all going, dude, you gonna put your chain on? Oh, yeah, I gotta do that. I'm like, yeah, you do. You're gonna
That was just me motioning that he had monster or something in his hand.
No one's gonna see.
Yeah, true.
So he didn't start putting his chain on until I was done and ready to go.
Okay.
And then his bike was not together. His seat post with a seat attached to it was in my workshop.
Is there a reason? Is that just where you threw all the
Then,
bikes?
all right. So after we get everything good and ready to go,
Okay.
we all got in the car and I started to pull away, and then I don't remember what he needed, but I had to come back in and let him in the house because.
Yeah, because Rachel was already down there when I pulled up.
Oh, Rachel beat us there by a ton.
Which is good. At least we had somebody there. Like, hey, I can speak on their behalf.
Well, and when I knew it was going to be a crapshoot, I had texted a bunch of people, Tyler, Brad, and Josh, and said, "We're going to be late. Handle it."
Yeah.
Right? If you need to move the jam, move the jam.
Yeah.
I don't care. But just handle it.
Okay.
So we're pulling out of here, and everyone's like, "We got to stop for food." And I'm thinking, you guys, we don't have time to stop for food.
Yeah.
So we stopped at Sheetz and got food.
Okay. Everyone got made to order.
Yeah,
so it took
MTO.
forever.
Yep. Okay. I forget what I got. I think I just got like a bag of fruit snacks or something. Just be like, yeah, you're right. We need to eat something, but we gotta move. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Didn't see the look in your face.
Okay. So everyone goes in.
Uh-huh.
Anyone familiar with Sheetz knows that you go in, you order your food, you do your shopping, you pay for everything, you pick your food up, you leave.
Yes.
Jesse talks to everyone while they're ordering their food.
Did he order yet?
Does all of his shopping, goes through the checkout line, pays for stuff, then orders his food. And has to go through the checkout line again. And then everyone was waiting for him to get his food.
Okay.
Sorry, Jesse. I love you, dude, but...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going to say
that was not a good day for me to be that late.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people know you, and they'll just laugh anyway, because they know you.
Yeah. No, you're a really good dude. It's just,
It's funny. It's funny.
It's really funny, yeah. Dude.
So, on top of that then, okay?
Yeah.
I had thrown most of the bikes on my rack.
Yeah.
You saw where I had to park.
Yeah. Like 3 miles away from the normal, not 3 miles, like
Yeah.
what, 3/4 of a mile or a mile away from the normal spot?
Yeah, we'll say a mile just to be fair.
Yeah.
Mile away from everyone else that was parked.
Yeah.
And away from the jam. So we had to
And people got
ride 2 bikes with one person to get Cam's bike down to him.
Okay.
And then, but when I got down there, so we rode all the way down there.
Yeah. And I was helping other people out because somebody forgot a wheel.
I know.
So we got another wheel in, like Tyler happened to have one, and then I had to pump up somebody's tire and everything, so I was the tool guy, I was the pump guy, so while you're doing all that, I'm messing with these guys, like, man, I'm 15 minutes late.
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately we weren't all that late getting down to River Ave. We were probably there by, 12:20?
Yeah.
By the time I rode down, and I think Matt P. had Cam's bike.
Yes.
So they got that to him, but I got all the way down there, and I had loaded my bag with everything, so I had a full bag.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, this is gonna suck the first time I need to go refill my bag.
Yeah.
For the jam prizes. Like, I need to find a better parking spot.
And as soon as you pedal down...
As soon as I got all the way down there...
To where I was parked.
So, again, a mile away.
Yeah.
Cam has an empty spot next to him, and he's in the closest lot. And I'm like, stand here.
Yep.
So I jetted back to the car.
I remember that. I was like, dude, you want me to take your bag? And you just were going. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, guess not. So I haven't ridden, I don't know, probably that fast since I used to race.
Yeah.
Drive all the way back down. Get the car situation started. Oh, all right. Let me come back to the house. Jesse had to put tubes in first too before we could leave.
Jesus Christ!
I
He
know.
had a whole bike assembly, chained and everything.
So
Holy
Jesse's
shit.
pumping up his tires, and he's pumping them up high pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't put that. I like to run high pressure, but I wouldn't put that much in. You're gonna blow those out.
Ballpark. How much PSI?
120.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. Street jam, 120. I run 80. I lowered to 80 for the street jam.
I would run that. I would run 110 if I had my walls.
Yeah.
And they were rated for 85.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I have my Eastern tires, and they're rated for 110. But if you put 85 in them, they'll blow off the beat.
Of course.
To be fair, they're wide tires.
And you got a narrow rim. Ugh.
No, narrow tubes.
Oh,
They're not
yeah.
made to go wide like that.
Yeah, that's
Unless
true.
you buy, I think Merit sells wider tubes.
Yeah.
So, alright. That's before we leave the house. Jesse's pumping up his tires too high, and we told him they were going to blow. So now that I've got this parking spot down on River Ave, and we start riding up to the jam,
Yeah.
Jesse's tire explodes.
Because, alright, so after you started pedaling away, as soon as you were out of eyesight, that's when I started heading towards the jam. I'm like, okay, I need to do crowd control, because I didn't know you had texted everyone else. I'm like, alright, I'm a half hour late, I need to figure this out.
We didn't get off River Ave and his tire exploded.
Jesus.
Going up the slight curve to the right.
That's a half a mile, not even. That's a quarter mile.
Okay, so there's that. Then I take off. Cam knows roughly where to go.
Yes.
So I get up there, and we're late at this point. I don't think we were a full hour and a half late. I know we were an hour late.
Yeah.
Probably an hour 10,
Yeah.
hour 15, somewhere in there. But either way, it's pretty inexcusable amount of lateness for a jam.
Yeah, for
that
your
we're
own jam.
hosting.
Yeah.
When I was ready at 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Had we left on time, I wouldn't have had to park a mile away. Those parking spots would have been available. Someone else would have had to park a mile away. Sucks for that idiot. But no, I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Okay. Cam gets, he guides Jesse where to go until his only direction is go straight.
Okay.
Jesse doesn't show up. Jesse walked somewhere and he's like, I'm at a bank.
Which one?
I don't know, dude.
Holy fuck. Alright, that's
And he
amazing.
didn't have his phone. He had Cam's phone. I had to call Cam's phone.
Wow. Okay.
It was just wild.
Okay.
Wild situation.
Yeah.
So, my first 5 minutes at the jam was finding someone that had a tube, because in case you've been living under a rock, tubes are impossible to find right now. You can't get them.
The only way that we were able... So I was working at this overstock place for side work that was building big box store quality bikes. Pieces of shit you could bend back by hand. Damaged, whatever, missing parts, whatever. We'd make them rideable and then send them out the door for a 20% markdown. And we had to find tubes off of eBay, and it was just a private collector who had a box of unboxed tubes. Half of them were flat out of the box. And that's what we needed to do to get by. So that's the level of desperation that bike shops are in right now.
I will throw this out there real quick, but Breaking Free Skate Park in Rochester had 100 last I knew.
Yeah.
Well, probably 95 because I bought 5 of them.
Yeah.
They have 100 tubes.
Yeah. So, Rochester people, anyone in that area, if you need
Anyone
something.
in upstate New York, just go to Breaking Free and buy your tubes.
Or Kevin Zuba. We'll throw his name out there too.
Yeah, I know he's got some too.
Yep. That's Buffalo area.
But he's only got probably less than that.
He's got a hookup.
Okay. So, I know Kink was sold out of tubes. They
Yes.
don't have any.
I'm pretty sure Kevin bought he bought the last of their mission levers.
Yes.
He was like, how many do you have? And they were like 40. He's like, okay, I'll take 30. No, 40.
Yeah. Alright, back to the Pittsburgh Jam.
Yeah.
So I spent like the first 5 to 10 minutes hunting down who has a tube here. You know, gave away a shirt for a tube. Fair trade.
Okay, yeah, in today's economy, a tube runs $20. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, they're premium dollar right now, so got a tube and then we waited for Jesse to show up.
Yeah, I remember seeing him roll up like 20 minutes after you guys pulled up, and I was like, what the fuck happened to you? And he's like, I don't know, man.
I know. So, until we recap the rest of the day, I'm pretty sure that's the last of the Jesse Chronicles.
Yeah, pretty much.
No. One more thing to shout out. He wore the backpack with stickers in it all day. Never once let people get stickers out of the bag.
Beautiful.
Until we were under the bridge.
Was it last year's Binghamton Jam that we let him build the long jump?
Yep.
Okay. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
And we fixed it after he did it too. We added more.
Yeah. Jesse is awesome. Jesse needs help sometimes, but Jesse is
He's
awesome.
a good dude. He's a great dude. Love him to death. But still.
I'm like glad that every bit of this is Jesse though, because it just makes the story good.
Yeah. For people that know, it's like really good. But okay, so now we're at MLK. Jesse showed up. Backpack full of stickers. Dude got his tube.
The gates to the MLK were miraculously opened.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about, actually. So that's a conversation for after the podcast, I'm assuming.
No. You know how they're gated up top, like the platform. There's the banks,
Yeah.
and then there's the metal walls.
Oh, you mean for the stair set? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about now.
So
Gotcha.
Years ago, that didn't used to be there. That was all open flat top, and you could ride that.
Yeah.
Like hop into the banks, hop the rails, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, is this getting into the kiss on the rail?
Yes.
Yes.
I like how you call it that. So, the gates popped open, we're just going to say.
Yeah. I don't know who did it or how, but...
Oh, I know how.
Okay. Conversation for after, because illegal activities, probably. But still.
Let's just say it's just an emergency exit jam bar.
Okay. Got you.
So it's not like it's hard, you just hit it from the inside with something.
Gotcha.
So people are riding the rail that hasn't really been ridden in years.
Mm-hmm.
And people are filming, stuff's going down, pretty cool. Matt P is pedaling at the up rail. Mark Diamond hops onto the down rail. 4 pegs on the same rail at the same time.
And they both got like at least 2 inches of slide. There was like 2 inches of grind.
They landed on the rail at the same time and crashed into each other really hard.
Because what is that stair set? Like a 6, 7?
I think it's more like a 9.
Okay. So Matt P's pedaling fast enough to go grind up a 9 stair that's pretty steep.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you want to say, how does this happen?
Yeah, because there's so many people looking both ways. I saw the dude up top filming. I thought he was going to warn whoever was up there. I thought it was already handled, and then all of a sudden, just now kids.
Yeah, but it's blind because
True.
they're coming out of that gated area.
Yeah.
So you can't really see what's going on. So Mark thought he was hopping on this rail.
He hopped on. He didn't
gets
think.
annihilated.
Like I
Matt,
said.
I'm sure that hurt Matt too.
Yes.
But Matt came to a stop.
Yeah.
Mark got whipped into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, they both slid like at least 2 inches. Like there was connection and grind. And then just like 2 Barbie dolls now kiss.
Fun fact, not one single person was filming.
No, someone was, because I saw them had it on their phone on the footage. I saw it. I don't know where that footage is.
Who has that clip? Because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not on IG. It was not sent to me.
Yeah, we need that clip. Whoever has it. I don't know who this person was. This is my first time ever seeing them. But they had it on their phone.
Alright. Well, then that's better than the Spoon clip from last year, where Spoon did the pickup bar to manual down the 17 stair.
That I completely missed too, because I was riding in the mist to get cooled down.
Yep. Yeah. So that got missed last year. For all intents and purposes, until I see that clip, I'm considering it missed.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have it.
Yeah.
No one's seen it, but those two collided hard.
Yeah.
Other notables at MLK, dude did the rail in sandals.
Flip-flops, not even just sandals.
Yeah, flip-flops.
Thong flip-flops.
Dude rode all day in sandals, flip-flops.
Yeah.
The quote came later, dude.
Yeah.
Later in the day. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That was so good.
So, Pittsburgh, I'm going to kind of recap into like some of the concerns that we had originally with this jam at all.
The BLM protests that they thought we might get wrapped into.
We have protests going on in Pittsburgh. We have obviously the coronavirus crap and, not being allowed to have large groups of people, blah, blah, blah. Which I think the number is like 250 people for an outdoor gathering.
Okay.
If socially distanced, but once you exceed really like the 50 people mark, it's hard to tell how many people you have.
At a street spot too. Like, okay, everyone's focused on this one particular thing.
And with bikes. Like, bikes take up a lot of room.
Yeah.
So it makes it look like you have more than you do.
Yes.
But, okay, so anyway, we're like, yeah, I don't really know what we can go to, what we can do. Like, we definitely want to stay out of the city. We don't need to get roped into any mess here. So then a whole bunch of spots are closed for construction. The PNC rails that we normally ride down on the waterfront, gated off and closed.
Oh, I didn't know
The weird little like wedge thing along the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
It's like a
The
weird
boat?
steep hip. No.
Oh.
No, there's near the PNC rails, there's like a blob hip. It's steep.
I know what you're talking about.
That's gated off for construction.
Okay.
And the block
Yeah.
is closed off for construction this year. So normally we go MLK to the block. Can't go to the block. Normally we go from there over to like the 17 stair or something like that.
Yeah.
We decided we didn't want to do that this year. We do that every year. Kind of need to mix it up. Do some stuff we haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
So Brad wanted to take everyone to the up top, like the wood ledges and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's a bust when you got 4 people.
Yeah. Let alone.
So it was like, let's just skip it all together. So we went down to the White Walls, which we haven't done since the first year of the jam.
Yeah.
So this is the 5th year. So it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
4 years, whatever. Anyway, we haven't done that since the first year of the jam. I thought that went pretty well down there.
Yeah. That was a fun time.
Fun gap to grass, some fun stuff going on, some cool ledges for people. Shaded, that's a plus.
Was it Dude or Mark Diamond that grabbed the $20 bill out of somebody's
Mark.
hand? Okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
Mark walked away with some cash.
Yeah, he really did.
Um,
And by that, I don't mean he stole it. I mean somebody was holding out a $20
Yeah.
bill and said, if you jump the stair set into the grass, grab this in the air and it's yours.
Yeah.
So he did a one-hander, grabbed it, did it.
Yep. So that was cool. Next spot we went to was just the PNC parking lot,
Yeah.
which is like the small little 4-set and
The banks.
the
out
bank
in
to
the parking lot.
guardrail.
Yeah.
And
Then rain.
I don't know if anything notable really happened there.
I got a Healy clip there.
You did get Healy clip.
Yeah.
I know some stuff got sent to the street. People like that spot. I don't love that spot personally, but
Yeah.
it's not about me.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, it started pouring. So head back to the cars because we're parked near and or under a bridge that has a broken ledge. And that was really it. That was all we were going there.
Yeah.
Was we knew we could give out prizes and session that crappy broken turd ledge.
Yeah, with pool coping.
Broken pool coping.
Yeah. A foot tall of pool coping. It's weird.
Why would you put pool coping on a street ledge?
Yeah, it doesn't even sound fun for skateboards.
No, not really. Anyway. What is going on? Why does this keep coming up?
Front row.
Alright, we're good, we're good.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. Yet again. I'm just gonna uninstall that stupid program.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out under there. We're just really kind of seeing if the jam's going to continue or not at this point.
Yeah, because the rain was like kind of waxing and waning and then coming back up again and
Yeah.
whatever.
So we're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm pulling my car up so that we can start distributing products and whatnot. And someone makes a sketchy long jump kicker in the dirt out of a cinder block and a weird little piece of metal.
Yeah, like a foot long piece of metal. Super steep.
So now there's a long jump contest going on that, by the way, got to like 25, 30 feet off this thing. It was far.
Yeah, it was super far. That was Matt hopping over a Jersey barrier first, then pedaling through gravel.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild. So we pretty much started that, and at that same time, was it Cam Gervin started the like, flip it, Mark, flip it.
Dude, no one was letting Mark just live his life that day. Everyone was just like, you need to flip. You flip it. Come on, flip it, dude. Flip, 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 flip. No one was letting him just live.
Now, to be fair, Mark lives for flips.
True. But that one, he got worked on. And they
Well,
was like, dude,
he didn't ever try that one.
No, it was the second setup.
After he was like, dude, I'm not flipping this, someone made a second one
Yeah.
that was slightly taller and had two pieces of metal to create a makeshift transition.
With like a crappy 45-degree angle in it with like barely any transition.
Oh, it wasn't good, yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
And then money started flying for it.
Yeah.
I think before he did it, we were up to $60 for him to
Jesus.
flip that thing. So, alright, you've already said the first one, he landed like guts to bars.
Folded completely over, like in a not so pretty position, basically. Like just really, his head was lower than his ass, and he still rolled away.
Yeah. And immediately puked all of his monster that he drank that entire day.
Yeah.
He puked a lot right there.
Dude, after that.
And then gets up, takes maybe 2 to 5 minutes, and then flips it.
Yeah. He like got it. He still landed just as bad,
Yeah.
but didn't puke this time.
Yeah. So,
and rolled away, like stayed on.
So we counted it.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's all fun.
But it was super funny. My favorite thing was like after he did that, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he looks at me, he's like, dude, I feel bad. I puked on my friend. Didn't say a name or anything, just my friend. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great.
Then there was a couple of games of bike because Tyler brought his Sabrosa rail.
Yeah.
So people were playing bike on that. There were supposed to be prizes going around. That got convoluted and a little bit standoffish. Prizes were distributed anyway because that's what you do when prizes are offered up and someone wins that event. They get the prize.
Yeah. That
So
wasn't any of either of us. That was just a stupid issue.
no, yeah, it was dumb. But
yeah.
anyway, like it's I don't even want to go into it.
Yeah. No.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
So after those games of bike, man,
during those games,
Harry had built this hip.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow got it riding. I'm gonna say good, but the word is probably like barely decent.
No, it was ripping. It was real good because I was like the second person to hit that. It was real good from the start.
I was watching people pedal at it and fall and wash out.
Okay,
because
yeah,
of
the gravel
approach
before
and
it sucked.
everything.
The jump itself was sick. The approach was awful.
All right, so a good jump, horrible run up.
Yeah.
You guys had pretty much already wrapped your session on it by the time we got over there to do anything jam-wise on it.
Yeah.
And, ran like a little jam session on that hip. Then we did products and prizes and whatever. But, I wrote these down. So, Mark Diamond, Rider of the Day for sure.
What was the trophy that he got? Do you remember? Not to throw that out, like.
I don't remember. Oh, he got the mask.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
that's
all right.
Wearable.
Yeah, I was going to say, P.S. Mark, that unbolts and you can wear it. I don't know if you're going to listen this long, or someone tells you, or next time I see you, I'll try to remind you. That mask is removable and is wearable.
And it's like, what is it? It's aluminum or stainless?
Stainless.
Stainless steel, but folded up and like machined or like worked into looking like one of those like medical masks.
Derek formed it to his face.
How did he do that? Like, how do you do? Does he have like a busk of himself, or does he like hammer it into his cheek?
I just like to think that it's that one.
That's amazing.
He literally blacksmithed it on his face. No, I think it's just little by little.
Yeah.
Work it, try it, work it, try
Yeah.
it. But no, I like the idea of it being blacksmithed on his face.
I would have doubted that man can basically move that I-beam by himself.
No, not basically.
Yeah.
I've watched him do it. It's just that nowadays in his old age, he likes to just get help.
Yeah. But he'll still do it if he has to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've watched him move that thing.
The I-beam we're talking about is at HCS. How long is it? Is it like 40, 50 feet? 30
It's
feet?
probably like high 20s.
Really?
Into the 30s.
Yeah, because it takes up to 2 parking spaces. So probably, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Lengthwise, 2 parking spaces, not widthwise.
Yeah, we'll say 30. 30 seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Matt Perkins. I don't remember what. I think just another like sick rider of the day.
Yeah.
And then Chase Bucci.
Yeah. Which he got the thing that he has to hide from his daughter.
Or Bucky.
He got the sharp death.
Chase Bucky.
Hey Bucky, down there from Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah, he got the super sharp one.
Yeah.
I think he has multiple super
Because
sharp
he got
ones.
the bullhorn ones from Binghamton last
Yeah.
year.
So, that one was fun. He told him it was for coming in second place all day long.
That's great.
He really did, like, second place and everything. But, then an extra shout out for Jake Aiken, who did the jam edit.
Yeah, that was sick.
Filmed all day, did the jam edit. There's a long story short on that, or probably a long story long, because that's the way I roll. Every year so far, I always run the jam, deal with prizes, deal with a lot of coordination stuff, film, try to ride, and edit this thing all myself. So, last year, Kyle did the same thing in Binghamton. He recorded the jam, put out this sick edit, and I rely usually on other people to send me clips too, because I can't be everywhere. I'm already like trying to run the jam, blah blah blah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of when you have that many people, it's hard to see everything that's going on.
Last year, Kyle recorded that whole Binghamton one, did the edit. It was sick, and I was like, not even doing one. Why am I gonna bother? This one was good. This one was sick. Stoked on it.
Yeah.
It's good enough. I'm not doing one. So then this year, I didn't really think about it with Pittsburgh until I showed up and Jake was already filming.
Yeah.
And Jake's been doing, different, like, around Pittsburgh filming edits, stuff at the Zealy Park.
Yeah.
And I pulled him aside, and I'm just like, hey, dude, if you're cool with this, like, if you want to be filming and you want to do this edit, just do it. Like, I'm not going to even bother then.
Yeah.
So, he ran with it, put out a sick edit. I will link to that in the description or whatever. So, Pittsburgh edit done by Jake Aiken, pretty sick. It's on his YouTube page, so hit him with a subscribe button or whatever, like the video.
Did you link
Check
it to
out
the
some of his
Grindworks
other work.
page?
Yeah, I did.
So go on there, use that to follow the link, go to his profile, blah blah.
I'll put a link here too, but yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh Jam went off with no major issues.
Yeah.
Slight rain, but I mean, even the night before that, it was 80% chance of thunderstorms all day.
Yeah, and we got like a sprinkle, but it was enough to make it not want to ride, like.
Yeah.
Out underneath the bridge.
So, never cancel your events unless you have to.
Yeah.
I was getting so many messages Friday night just saying, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we're winging it. Like, jam's on.
Yeah.
If I gotta make a call, it's gonna be Saturday morning because it's pouring.
Yeah.
If it's not pouring on Saturday morning, then jam's on.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that we didn't preemptively pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
That could have been rough. You went back to Buffalo for a little while after that.
Yep. Doing more side work shit.
I wanted to go down to Richmond the following weekend because there was a street jam down there.
Yeah.
Hosted by Tim Hankins. I did not go. I looked at it as I've already been so busy with all this other stuff going on, like the Insta jams, coordinating all that, tracking everything in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Hosting the Pittsburgh Jam, and I was taking that coming week off to be up in New York. I'm like, I'm not trying to rush out to Richmond to hang out at the street jam to rush up to Binghamton.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, I didn't go. Shout out to those dudes, which I did. Looked fun.
It did look fun. But
Binghamton Jam though was awesome. It's
Dude.
always awesome.
Camping next to a highway for a week to help set up for that.
That's awesome.
It was the first night freaked me out though because these people like saw me walking to my tent with my flashlight and they must have thought I had like broken down in the field or something because they come down but then they're like yelling in Spanish to me and I'm just like, don't know what you're saying, please don't kill me, I'm going in my tent now, see you later.
That's funny. I forgot about that already. So you have like your own podcast on Tent Chronicles at this point.
I mean, it really wasn't anything like setting up the jam, cleaning the park. I must have like went over that thing like 6 times with that sweeper. We had concrete day, we had just little things here and there.
You had a whole bunch of dead bugs in your tent when you got it out.
So, yeah, I was borrowing that tent from Kevin Zuba because my tent is currently in Allentown at my buddy Andrew Mars' place. Also rides BMX. I need to get into it more, so if anyone wants to hit him up on Instagram and yell at him, his Instagram's like Trenzalore or something like that. But, yeah, so borrowing Kevin's, which he had it out all last summer for the kids and everything to play in and whatnot. So when I like finally get it all set up and unzip it, there's just like a graveyard. There's like a splattered tick up on like the one side, and then there's like a graveyard of like giant spiders and like potato bugs and a bunch of weirdness like over to the side. And the first night I just kind of like lifted up the tent and scooted it all to one corner and just set my bedroll out. And then finally got it cleaned up after that. But yeah, first night was just like sleeping in a bug graveyard.
That's very nice. Yeah, let's see. Prep work for the jam. You kind of like started talking about some of it, but there was Monday. Did I drive up Monday or did I drive up Sunday night? I don't even remember. I think I drove up Monday morning.
Yeah, you did.
So Monday, I didn't have too much to do that. I mean, we worked pretty late. I think I went to dinner at my grandma's and then came back down.
Yeah. Me and this kid, Sam, I don't know his last name. Esposito. We spent that day making the base for the quarter pipe. Basically making a dirt quarter with like cinder blocks in the back. It was already kind of framed in with some wood and all that, and we just wanted like fill it up till there was like a 4-inch gap, and then we'd pour concrete over top of that. But we basically spent the entire day making a dirt quarter and then backing it to hold it all in with like 2 feet of dirt on either side, pretty much.
Yeah. And I got there when we were really starting to get into like the backfill side of it.
Yeah.
Because you had like the guts of it all done.
Yeah.
We dug a lot that day.
Yeah.
We took a lot of that hill away to build that thing.
Yeah. There's a huge left berm behind the satellite dish now that used to only be like a fifth of the size as it is now.
Yeah, and a hill. And now it's all like level.
Yeah.
I mean, really not too much exciting there. Other than that, there was the bare bones start to an obstacle course as well.
Yes.
Which
half we had to remove.
So we spent a good part of Monday coordinating with people to come help with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never worked with concrete before...
At least on that scale. Like, patching is one thing. Yeah. That scale is ridiculous.
Yeah, we did, just for numbers' sake, we poured 5 cubic yards of concrete, I think. And about a half of that was hand mixed.
Yes.
Maybe upwards of 5.5. We got 4.5 by truckload. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And we mixed a large stack by hand after to finish it.
Yeah. That's nuts.
So the part that looks like the hard part is getting the concrete in place.
It's not.
That's the easiest part of the job.
You can work that like a dirt jump.
Screeding and smoothing and burning it in, that's the hard part.
Which burning it in, for the people who don't know, means burning your own muscles because you're just going at it like crazy.
Yeah, it's when it's practically dried and you're polishing it.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. But it's a lot of work and it's timing and you need to be on it.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of an issue with the top quarter because Derek asked them to mix it dry.
Yeah.
They did not.
It was wet, kept
It
falling
was
down.
Way too wet.
We spent like an hour and a half, maybe even 2, just screeding and trying to lift it back up.
So, I mean, you guys spent an incredible amount of time on the flat bottom of that quarter pipe, and then
waiting for it to dry.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way around it.
Yeah.
And then the quarter pipe face itself was like a last minute scramble as a storm was rolling in.
Yeah, it literally started raining like right when the finishing touches were being put on it.
The main pour down below was just a lot, but like
it was flat.
So we had a bunch of people lined up to come help with this. Committed people said they'd be there. Did in fact show up in some of those cases.
Yeah.
But as soon as the concrete was in place,
they thought it was done.
They thought it was done and they left and we were stuck. And
yeah.
That sucks. If you're going to do that to someone, just tell them you can't help.
Yeah.
Don't give them the false hope that you're going to have people that tap in, tap out, and help, because for sure Derek was heat stroked.
Yes.
I was riding the edge the whole time. I think you were riding that edge the whole time.
Yep.
Andy never stopped working, but he was for sure right there.
Yeah, he was about to puke. He was about to puke 2 hours before he was done.
Yeah. But, I mean, Derek went to the point where he had to go inside and take a cold shower and just sit in there for a while.
Yeah.
Like, he hit the point.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work, and having those extra hands would have been real helpful.
Yeah. Because I didn't tap out at all until you came up and offered to tap out, and I was like, no, at first, and then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, actually, yes, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were in a weird spot holding that beam. Like, there was no flat place where you could just stand there and, like, hold it.
Yeah.
You had to be, like, one knee high up on a rock and, like, pushing on it, but not pushing hard.
Yeah.
It was weird. So, that's what I hit the point where I was like, okay, I'm not necessarily needed down there.
Yeah.
But at that moment, it seemed like there were enough people working on the lower. And Derek was working on the lower. And
yeah.
Andy gets so focused and in the zone that, like, not that you have to supervise him, but, like, he would have spent all day long on that deck.
Yeah.
And the flat bottom.
Yeah.
If you let him. But also, like, everyone on the lower was tapping in and out, and you guys were just stuck there. You and John never moved.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, someone's got to come, like, switch out with you guys. At least then you can pace around, grab a drink, whatever.
Yeah.
So that all got done. There's really not too much to say other than, like, the help would have been nice, but it is what it is.
Yeah. It's also volunteer work too. You can't expect people to.
No, but
still.
But also,
if you want to come enjoy it and you want to have, especially the locals, like, hey, that park is open to the public now. Spoiler, yeah, HCS is open. Like, they have hours and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're local there and you want to have something cool to ride, and maybe, contribute, that would have been the time.
Yep. Well, alright, so the other thing, too, and I do need to mention this because I never did a proper shout-out on Instagram for this. Tom Beckman donated $400 to the two jams.
Yeah, you were saying that to me, but...
So, $100 went to prizes in Pittsburgh. 300 of that went to the concrete job at HCS. I guess you can kind of cut this however you want, but we matched that donation so that we could do a fair amount of concrete.
Yeah.
But then also pulled some money out afterwards to do the money giveaways that Tommy had originally wanted to do anyway. So
Yeah.
None of it really matters what went where, who did what.
Yeah,
but
it was still fun.
just know that, like, Tommy donated a lot to that jam.
Yeah.
Both jams, but specifically Binghamton.
Because that's his local.
Yep. And, was not able to come down and help out with the pour itself, but, like,
He
helped make that happen, and without him, that would not have been poured.
Yeah.
So, thanks, dude. Appreciate it a ton.
Definitely. He's got a funny photo of me from the day.
Nice. He sent me a whole bunch of stuff that I have not had time to look at.
He told me to put my nipple on the pole jam when it was like half out and put my mask up, and I was just like, okay. Alright, so there's a weird photo out there somewhere.
Good. I want it. Man. Wednesday, I didn't come down to HCS at all.
That was a cleanup day. Like, that was the first day of actually trying to clean the parking lot and everything, get all the big rocks out and stuff, because we wanted to make it also skatable, too. It wasn't strictly a BMX event. I mean, focused towards BMX, but anyone could have come. There were kids on scooters. Like,
well, let's put this into some perspective, too, right? Of all the people that can help and make this jam happen, I take a week off work and drive in from Pittsburgh to make it happen.
Yep.
You take effectively a week off work.
Yeah.
Every single year.
Yeah.
To stay up there and make this happen. I think most people know that you live in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah.
So, you and I are handling, a lot of that. You're further from your family than I am up there.
Yeah. They're like an hour and a half away.
I'm 10 minutes from there.
Yeah.
So, I saw my parents for like 2 hours on Monday night. I took Wednesday morning to go with them and walk Watkins Glen.
Yep.
And then Rachel and I took off from there and went out to Rochester for the day. Just the two of us.
Yeah.
And variety of reasons for that, but stopped at Kink, stopped at Breaking Free.
Yeah.
Didn't get to ride. Go figure. But, no, I didn't expect to, though.
Yeah.
And then stopped at Johnny's Work BMX.
Yep.
On the way back. Almost forgot about that one.
Courts.
So, we spent all of Wednesday out.
Yeah.
Thursday, we were back in first thing in the morning. Worked all day. General stuff, mostly.
Yeah.
Friday, I went in the morning to do some other stuff, and then was down there. Was Thursday is the day we mostly finished up
Yes.
the obstacle course.
Yeah, because
I did a lot of the patchwork on the concrete.
That's the day that I had to go to arcade, and then I came back and we had
Didn't have
that
to go
phone
to
call.
arcade.
Yeah. Then we had that phone call where you were telling me about the last feature in the obstacle course, and I showed up and saw it and had you on the phone and was cackling.
Yeah.
That was great. Sam, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was good. So, Friday, I got down there about noon. You were already working.
Yep.
What did we even do? Set up ramps mostly.
Yeah, pretty much that
Pulled
Friday
everything
was
out,
pull it all out.
cleaned the last bits of that stuff up, the lot and whatnot.
Brake cleanered these bees that just would not die.
It's because we had crap brake cleaner.
Yeah, it was O'Reilly's.
No, it just the new stuff doesn't have the chemicals.
Nah.
It's like eco-friendly brake cleaner, and you're like, so it doesn't even clean brakes.
Yeah, of course.
Eco-friendly immediately means doesn't work.
Yeah, and I gotta thank you guys too. I was going up there expecting to like live off of canned food, and you guys kept feeding me like every single day. If it wasn't you, it was Derek. So
Well, let's be fair here. If it wasn't for you coming up and helping every year, and like again specifically this year,
yeah,
it wouldn't happen the way it happens. I mean, there's two ways this jam could go down. There's the do nothing way, which is you say, hey, we want to use the park. You pay your rental fee for the park.
you set up the ramps.
You show up Friday night, and you set up whatever, and you just have the event.
Yeah.
Or there's the way that we've always been able to make this event happen, which is we come to Derek with some ideas. He puts them into motion to make some cool features for us, either ramps or that extendable
Rails
pole
or whatever.
jam,
Yep.
rails, anything that we have in mind. Derek's the man.
Yeah.
He does the jam trophies for us, so
Yeah.
like, you know, if we're not gonna do anything, we can't expect him to do anything.
Yep.
So we support by cleaning the park. We support by filling any cracks in the ground. You know, we do what we can to help this out and make this happen and clean stuff up. And then, I mean, we had 2 solid days in putting that obstacle course together.
Yeah.
Not to mention prep work for concrete stuff and pouring
going
concrete.
to grab that piano and the
I
car thing. And well, the car was finished before we got there, thankfully.
Yeah.
That car was pulled in before this year.
But all of that stuff takes time, and
Yeah.
it takes people and energy and everything. And like, we could still have a fun jam if we don't do that stuff. But the reason our jam does so well is because we put that extra effort in.
Yeah.
And seriously, like, you know, paying for a meal or something is nothing compared to like the help that it's received as. So.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I appreciate it. It was rad. I mean, I don't go into it expecting anything other than a fun day on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically what I try to do.
But even that said, like, by the time Saturday rolls around, how much can you even ride after you burned yourself out all week?
That's fair. I didn't do very much at all.
You know, you could have just as much fun if you just showed up Saturday morning and you're like, yay, bikes.
True. Yeah, but never been my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just to throw another shout out there, like Jack Hart J and like all the Buffalo dudes like Dylan Pierce and Alex Pierce and those guys, like that's how we met, was showing up to HCS for the Western Jam, was it? And I'm pretty sure we got there a day early. If it wasn't that one, it was one of the FBM, a couple of the FBM ones we showed up a couple days early and helped out with.
Yeah.
So like that's just what I'm used to. That's the thing to do. Like go help out and be a part of the scene. Otherwise, it's like I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. It's nice to have that.
Yeah, I understand. I like to feel like I'm the same way. I want to help out in some way, but like
you're throwing the jams.
Well, yeah, but like there's a vested interest for me to have to do that because I'm throwing the jam.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, because you want to is cool and awesome, and like you're helping out and definitely appreciated. You don't have any like vested reason why you need to.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like more appreciated than anything else. Like, if I told anyone that, they'd be like, "Well, yeah, it's your jam. Like, of course you're gonna be there to prep for it."
Yeah. True.
But.
Well, I'm basically co-host on here. There's an interest.
Yeah. If you're just showing up to the jam and doing all the work on the front end and it's not your jam, it's definitely like awesome.
Yeah.
So, then we have jam day.
Yeah, which that was super fun. Even though I was beat.
There was so much going on. A little bit of disarray in like what's going on and any event side stuff. But we had a whole bunch of dudes, well, people, show up and vendor.
Yep.
Tents, whatever. Uh,
Who all did we have? We had Kevin showed up.
yeah, we had the Zuba van bike shop.
Yeah, miscellaneous.
We had
Bikes.
Keystone Ramp Works.
Yep.
We had Heart of Gold Hydro Dipping.
Okay, I keep forgetting the name of his company, but it's dope.
And then Work Frames.
Yep.
And then Grindworks. I think that was all the vendor side. But that was cool. Had a whole bunch of people. If I remember the numbers correctly, Derek said that they had 60 new waivers on file for the day.
Plus all the people who'd been there.
Plus, I had collected some new waivers.
Yeah.
Only a few, so I'm saying probably 64, 65 new waivers.
Yeah.
Plus all the people that have been there before. So, I think it's a fair number to say we probably had 75 to 80 riders, if
Yeah.
not more, and 100 to 120 people in total
Yeah.
there. Because there were people hanging out, not riding.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think I saw Sam Weber touch his bike once. No, I saw him pedaling around a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he had it out.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of people came out, and like that was kind of a concern on the front end of that was New York
Yep.
being weird and not allowing more than 100 people.
The nice thing about it was it's a big, nice open parking lot. There's
Mhm.
plenty of room to stay socially distanced. If you were on bike, you didn't have to have a mask on. If you were like having water or eating or something like that, just stay 6 feet apart from people. The only time that you really needed the mask was the vendor tents in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, there were people that had them on periodically if they were just hanging out, sitting around or whatever,
Yeah.
but only if they were in a tight space. And other people, you know, New York's treating it a lot differently than down here in Western PA. And they're taking it more seriously, and like people were just comfortable to have their masks on around people.
Yeah, they're just used to it. That's the norm
So-
up there.
So it's less political, I think.
Yeah.
So, like, that was cool. And if anyone missed it because of that, and a lot of people did, we were supposed to have basically an entire tent city going on at HCS.
Yeah, and I was the only one. Until
Chris came up
Chris,
and
yep.
did camp one night there, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people bailed out because of the mask thing, or I mean, some people had other like real life stuff going
Yeah.
on. But
House stuff.
yeah, the mask thing, and it's the irony is that they said they weren't going to let a mask control their life, but they missed an event because they refused to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So, in turn, letting the mask control their lives, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, haha. Man, events at HCS.
Always so rad. Did
what
you see the car was still running?
Yeah.
Yeah, like still ran like up onto the thing
Yep.
to get rid of it.
Yeah, we didn't break it enough.
Yeah, we did a horrible job of
The hatchet to the brake or the
Battery?
terminals not destroying it.
It didn't go to the battery terminal. It went straight into the side of the battery. Like it was like
Yeah, that's fair.
the box. It literally like dead center diagonal cut into it, leaking battery acid everywhere. Like, it was leaking. How did it still go? Did they put another battery in there?
I don't know what they did. Why would you put a battery in that turd?
I don't know. How did they get it to go? It was leaking everywhere. That thing was empty.
Event-wise, we originally started trying to get people into the obstacle course, like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
But I don't think people were warmed up yet.
Yeah.
And like a couple people played with it, but no one really bit. So then
It got pushed till way later.
everyone just started sessioning the big quarter out back.
Yeah.
And it turned into a high air contest.
Didn't Isaac get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit weird in a way, because just because people are riding something, you don't necessarily have to turn it into a contest.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem all day long, is that people were just having a good time sessioning, and then every time you'd start up a contest, it's like, meh.
Yeah.
It just jams the day up.
Yeah. And
Which
we had different announcers throughout the day. I was holding the megaphone
Yeah.
for a while, but I was just yelling at people to do cool stuff. I wasn't saying like, "Hey, do this on this." I was
Yeah.
like, "You do something cool. Come on."
Well, and like, it's tough though when you've got that situation going on, because that's the problem with, like, anytime you bring up a best trick on this, everyone stops riding.
Yeah.
When you try to push someone to do stuff, it just jams the jam up.
Yeah.
And there's really no way around it. You're either doing a jam with no events at all, a jam with a bunch of small events, or a formal competition,
Yeah.
which we're not going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of just like everyone wants to jam out and ride.
Yeah, and then you just
Whatever.
kind of watch stuff throughout the day, and it's like, yo, like if there's a bunch of people sessioning, let's just hand shit out.
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's not the way we do things. So
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
And it's tough to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And even down to the point of like we were trying to do that. And when we'd be like, hey, go over to the tent and grab this, they're like, in the middle of a session, like, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
So we ended up with a ton of stuff late in the day to
Yeah.
get rid of, which is fine. We got rid of it all, so it's cool. The high air was Isaac. Then the next thing we did, I think, was just high pole jam.
Yeah. Which, if you guys weren't there, there was a pole jam that looked like nothing different, just a pole jam.
Yeah, little 1.5 foot.
Yeah, and then Derek hollowed out the earth underneath it and like shoved a 10-foot pole, or actually 12-foot pole into it, because it came out 10 feet. Was like, there's a minimum where you had to lock it up and tighten it, everything for like those 2 feet. So it was 10 feet out on top of that 1.5 foot of pole jam.
Mm-hmm.
At a pretty steep angle too.
Yeah, I think he made it just a hair steeper than maybe he should have. But that's okay. It came out good. And It
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, and people were doing it.
Greg from Bloomsburg, I
Yeah.
think, won that. Or Craig, as everyone kept calling him.
Yeah.
It's clearly Greg.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then-
now I know who you're talking about. Okay, I was very confused for a second.
It's Craig.
Okay, yeah, got you.
Craig. No, it's Greg. Greg.
Okay.
I don't know his last name. Greg G, I think.
Okay.
But it's whatever Peg Greg on Instagram.
Okay. I have to follow him. I think I do.
He and one other dude were going pretty well back to back on this thing, pretty high.
Yeah. Did it ever make it to the full extension? Like, did people
It got
go?
pulled out to there, but no one went off the top of it.
Okay. So everyone was like sliding off the side towards
Mhm.
the top.
Yeah, so he won that. There were a couple games of foot down for some stuff for the little kids.
Okay. It was all low kid stuff. Gotcha. I was like, wait, where's the foot down at that one? Because we had foot down at the
Yeah, we did do foot down at
Pittsburgh
in
one.
Pittsburgh. I
Who
forgot
won
about
that?
that.
anyone.
I don't know. It was. Who knows?
Okay. Well, if you won, I don't know. Comment on it just so that we.
No,
can...
there were a few people.
Well, because we did like
There was a couple games.
elimination, didn't we? Or were you just handing out prizes for each one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think Duke won the one at HCS.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he won all of them. I think maybe his sister won one of them.
Those kids are rad.
Did we even do any other stuff? I mean, we sessioned the car. I don't think there was a best trick on the car.
They tried to get one going with
on the
session.
Piano.
Yep, session on the piano was cool. There was a best trick for that one.
I don't remember who won what.
I think it was one of those things where 3 different people won it because
yeah. Well,
it kept trying to get cut early, but then somebody else would do something cool, and we're like, we'll give you something else too.
We had the stuff. I don't know why we're so stingy with it every year.
Yeah, just throw it out. You did something cool. Here you go.
Yeah. I know Carson was supposed to get something, even though it was a scooter trick.
Yeah, Carson.
He still feeble trucked across the keys of the piano.
Yeah, on a scooter, and we went to give him something, and
he was already gone.
Yeah. So Carson, you're owed something at some point, maybe.
I don't have anything now.
Yeah, that's fair.
You snooze, you lose. Then destroyed the vehicle with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Destroyed a sledgehammer with a vehicle, maybe is a better way of putting it.
My favorite thing was, and this happened last year and the year prior too, Derek always does this thing where when the jam's starting to die down, he'll just go and grab weapons of destruction and just casually toss it in the vehicle without saying a fucking word to anyone. And you just catch him doing it, and you're like, oh, sledgehammer's out, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think maybe it's, I don't know, I don't hold that much frustration. It never really appeals to me. But I think it's also that I've always grown up at HCS.
Yeah.
So that's normal to me.
Yeah.
But people that have never been there before and people that have never been around any level of chaos.
Oh, dude.
Seriously go off in that moment. When you're handed, say, a battle axe or a gigantic sledgehammer and you can do whatever you want to a vehicle in front of you is completely wild, and it gets insane.
I got the back bumper off this year, and then Kevin, as I used the sledgehammer to get the back bumper off, Kevin took a piece of wood, one of the planks, to rip the sub bumper off the frame. I don't know what that part is called, but it was the metal bit underneath the actual bumper itself.
The frame?
Well, I mean, it wasn't really the frame, but it bolted onto the frame, but yes. And he ripped that off with a, it was a 2x8 or 2x12.
Rough cut,
yeah. And he managed to break the frame off with a piece of wood.
Kevin was having a good time with that. Then that was really it. I mean, we went to eat after that.
Yeah. I just ate 5 slices of pizza. We're going to Denny's. I don't. Your eyes lit up. Okay, you're right. Yep, let's go.
Dude, it doesn't matter how much you eat that day.
Yeah.
I mean, one, we were all underfed all week because of the amount of work we were doing.
Yeah.
And by the time, even though you're eating at the end of the day, it's yeah, but you just worked 19 hours continuous or whatever.
Yeah. All those calories being burnt. And me with the hypoglycemia, I need to triple what you guys were eating.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
And water.
Yep.
That too. We're not drinking enough water. I think I'm just starting to recover from that. My pee is just now.
Mine still ain't.
Getting
Mine still ain't. Mine's still bad. And I've been drinking nothing but water at home.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a sip.
I've been sipping. That's my second cup. I had a couple down at the 4-year-old birthday party down the street before we did this too.
Yeah. So typically with the hypoglycemia, I drink like 2 or 3 beers a night before bed. And I've been making a point just to eat better since I've been home and just drink strictly water. And I'm still not clear. Like, it's still yellow pea.
So I'm unsure on these. I didn't get photos of people with their jam prizes and whatnot at Binghamton.
Yeah.
So I might be wrong on these, but I think that the 3 trophies went to. All right, hang on.
Okay, what do we forget?
We didn't talk about the obstacle course.
What part do we want to talk? I already know the answer to this, but what part do we want to talk about?
Okay, so obstacle course exists.
Mm-hmm.
Obstacle course. Corona.
Yep, there it is.
Obstacle course starts out at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
It's
as always.
It's a sketchy up across down pyramid. To call it anything else.
With a metal door at the bottom and like the fronts of some shelving units that are made out of metals. It's slippery as shit. And we had a Razor scooter dug into the ground, wrapped around with nails, and there was a bungee cord to hold it back, so it was like going through a gate, like it would smack you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would snap back and hit you in the hand or whatever after your bars went through.
Yeah.
Corona. You're welcome, everyone. That's at Binghamton Jam.
Yep. Enjoy that. Take it home to your families.
So it goes down that, and it's a low on the front end, but it's a downhill pyramid.
Yeah.
So it goes down pretty good after.
Yeah, straight into a rumble pit.
We're gonna call it the rumble pit. It's a trash pit.
Razor
it has
scooters.
Like shoe inserts in it for making shoes.
Like wooden.
Yeah, wooden inserts. I forget what they're called. I should know.
Shoe stretchers.
Yeah. Razor scooters. Thanks to Mark Diamond, who drove all the way up from Pittsburgh and was flipping everything and snapped his bike.
Yeah.
Which
that probably cracked at the Pittsburgh one, let's be honest.
Maybe. I mean, if you look at the photos of the break,
yeah,
it was a bad weld.
Okay.
But it's
also that company.
Well, yes. Okay, so we had a signature Mark Diamond series broken bike in the pit.
Which he had another one, exact same thing, except for brakeless and the free coaster, which he then put the cassette and brakes from the broken bike onto.
Yep.
Exact identical copy.
I know. He always has an identical bike.
But yeah, so that was in there. And then the pallet wall ride that was like just wedged into the ground.
Yeah, that was a sketchy little pallet berm wall ride thing that it wasn't necessarily by design, but people were using it like a shark fin into the low berm.
Oh yeah, did see that.
So they were shark finning off of that into this like narrow little sketchy berm that I wanted to fill with mud, but no one else wanted to, so we left it out.
Yeah, I totally vetoed that.
So that just went up and over this hill behind the new quarter. Mm-hmm. There's a giant hole next to it from where you guys got some backfill from.
Yeah.
And then you created some monstrosity over a tree.
Yeah, Derek said he wanted to build something up to that using wooden planks, so I built like this kind of steep lip on the right, and then Derek was like, I want to thread the needle through those branches really high up, and he built like an extension offshoot to the left, and the goal was to just go off of it and land 90 into mulch.
Mm-hmm.
To go through the rest of the course, but you had to like e-brake 90 into mulch and then pedal forward out of that.
Or scooter hop, basically. Anyone that had a free coaster had to hop their way out of it until they could actually pedal on flat ground again.
Yeah.
So that was there. there was a shortcut long jump, but no one could carry enough speed to ever hit it. It was more of a joke than anything else that bypassed a section of the course.
Yeah, which was like the best section of the course anyway, so why would you bypass it?
Right. So after that, it pedaled around back uphill slightly and hooked a tight corner. There were some pallets there where you didn't have to go over them.
Yeah.
Then we had a kicker onto a washer and dryer, and the door of the dryer was propped open with a chunk of concrete, like a little kicker off.
And it got 180 and bar spun off of, I think?
I think so. It got sessioned a little bit.
Yeah, there were some tricks done off of this dryer.
Then, after that, there was a balance section.
Yeah. Like,
This is where everyone was struggling. Actually, that mulch hip people were struggling on too.
yeah.
That seemed to be the make or break point for a lot of people,
Yeah.
which I didn't think it was going to be.
Yeah, no, like, but so many people ride free coaster, like,
Yeah.
that I didn't really cross their minds.
Well, no, it did. It's just I figured they could figure it out.
Yeah.
But it was like everyone wanted to go too slow and then they couldn't plant.
Yeah.
Alright, so after the washer dryer, there was a balance beam, a split balance beam around a corner where you could take an inside or outside path, back to a primary balance beam uphill that you had to pedal on,
Yeah.
connected to another balance beam that was level, some offset canted dip boxes that were like curve wall ride to curve wall ride back,
Yeah.
but not quite that steep,
Yeah.
to a teeter totter, and then Sam's monstrosity creation of a wall.
This thing was made out of those same, like, 2x12s, like, nailed together, and then Sam was like, that's not hard enough, and just put junk on it, and then bent nails to hold it all in place. Like, hammered the nails in halfway, and it was just like, hammer, hammer, hammer.
I posted on Instagram a picture of 6 nails protruding out of the ground
Yeah.
with a piece of pizza stuck on them, and that was the top of that hill.
Yeah, which you could easily avoid. There was like 2 or 3 feet on either
And
side.
I posted pictures of all the stuff for this, so you can find it on the Instagram. Find pictures of like that monstrosity in the whole course and whatnot.
Yeah.
So anyway, that went up to this little platform on top of a piece of concrete, which then ramped up onto the top of Derek's vehicle,
Yeah.
and then you had to gap to flat off of it into the concrete.
Yeah, you
parking
couldn't
lot.
land in the grass.
So-
And also the plywood on the top of Derek's vehicle had like a foot gap before the top of his like roof rack thing.
Yep. Yeah.
And then you
it
had
was
like another
pretty
2
sketch.
feet of grass, and then you only had like maybe enough room to get one pedal in.
So we fully anticipated this being a tough thing to do and people like taking a lot of time to get through it. And obviously we tried earlier in the day to get people into it. People tried it, weren't loving it, warmed up more all day. So we come back to it. And Sam had been trying this, on and off different sections of it since we built it.
Yeah, he was hitting it piece by piece, so he
So-
had an unfair advantage.
He did. But he, when it came to doing each thing straight through, he was kind of struggling still.
Mm-hmm.
But he got about as far as we expected him to get,
Yeah.
up to that wall.
Yeah.
Wall
that
of
he
doom
built.
That he built. Everyone else was really struggling. Like,
Yeah.
I saw maybe one other person make it down to that spot, that wall.
I made it through at the end of the day. I finally did it once.
As we start up the Rio Jam, and we weren't sure if this was going to be a first person through it gets the prize or
Fastest time.
fastest time, although we were pretty convinced, after watching people try it, no one was doing it in fastest time. It was going to be first person through.
Yeah.
So Davey Osgood from Syracuse, first try, makes it all the way to the wall.
Yeah.
Doom.
The Wall of Doom.
And then goes back to the top and sends it start to finish.
So I missed. I thought a couple more people had gone.
No, second try.
Really? I made it through after pretty much everyone had left. I was like, I'm gonna go through real quick, and I just because it was the end of the day, I made it. I knew I could do the gap into the parking lot, but I just didn't want to. I made it on top of the platform. And I was like, you know what? I'm calling it here. I know I can do that, but I don't wanna.
That's funny. I didn't even play with it, but I knew that climbing that thing was not going to be that hard. If you locked out and side hopped up it, it's a cakewalk.
I just monster trucked up that right side. It really
okay,
wasn't
you
that
took the
bad.
fast line?
Yeah. It sucked because on my red bike, I did my brake bike just in case I had to do that. But I have 175 cranks and a 32 sprocket with a 9-tooth in the back.
Yeah.
So pedaling up that was just but that's why I didn't jump off. I was like, my legs are dead. I don't want to take this drop.
Yeah. Well, and for what? That's...
Yeah.
We can come back to that in a second. We've been going for a while. We're at 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So... Alright, trophies from Binghamton were Davey.
Yeah.
There was one allocated specifically for the obstacle course, and he crushed it.
Which one was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was the shark.
Okay, the shark with all the spokes through it.
Yep.
That's dope.
Go away!
What?
That same program keeps just popping up in the background.
Yeah.
And I keep closing it. And yet, here we are. Alright. 1 second, please. This needs to just...
Are you pausing? Or are you still rolling?
I just don't know why it's still going. There we go. No, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're still here. Alright. So... Then Sam... I'm pretty sure we gave Sam Esposito one.
Yes.
And I don't remember what one he got.
It wasn't Spiky Hair Dude, was it?
Yes, it was. It was
Okay.
Spiky Hair Dude. And then I'm unsure on this one too, but I think Craig got the rim one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But, like I said, I didn't do a great job of getting photos of that stuff at that jam.
And then a bunch of people got the slingshots as toss-outs at the prize thing.
So, shout out to Kyle Dolan for filming and presumably editing a video. I have not seen it yet. Maybe it's out now and I've missed it. I don't know. Shout out to Matt Vargason for doing photo work. Shout out to Tom Beckman for doing photo work. I'm not going to say that. Okay. We may be recording this a hair early, but it's okay. I don't know if this is 100% or just 99%.
Okay.
So I don't want to say something that's maybe not happening.
Okay.
Although I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this episode was obviously we had stuff to say.
Yes.
In prepping for this episode, it felt like we were going to be like 20 minutes and have nothing to say. But I mean, we're just rolling with it and talking about all the funny stuff and like cool stuff that happened. So
yeah,
that's sweet that this went better than I thought.
Yeah.
But we were having a discussion, and I guess we're going to save this for another time now, but I'm going to prep the idea in your mind of content for the sake of content.
Yep.
That we were thinking, are we recording a podcast just to record a podcast because we haven't done one in a while? Similar to how people post Instagram clips just for the sake of posting an Instagram clip.
Tabletop Tuesday. Get Weird Wednesday.
Yep. And you had said that drop. Why you're gonna do the trick just to do the trick?
Yeah.
And you're like, I know I can do this drop. Why do I need to do it?
Yeah.
So let's think on that for the future and a future episode of content for the sake of content, videos for the sake of videos, posting for the sake of posting, and tricks for the sake of tricks. I mean, that's where I'm going to leave that at. It's something I want to do. I do think it's going to be a lot of talking in circles, but I think we can develop it into something that's at least interesting and entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was thinking we were maybe going to fill the space with that.
But it doesn't look like we need to now. What are we sitting at now exactly?
210.
210. Wow.
Yeah, well, you know, co-hosting and all.
There we go.
Hopefully I'll have a Binghamton edit. If so, or when it drops, I'll put the link in the description. I can always update it later.
Yeah.
Until then, I don't know when that's going to be, and who knows. So, a couple things going in the links, a couple things that we talked about, but nothing really upcoming. I can't think of anything immediate that's like, hey, this is going on.
Yeah, I mean, the world is still in a state of flux. What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, are kids going back to school?
It's supposed to be like, well, I don't know what it is in PA, but I know Buffalo was like the second week of September was like when school started, at least when I was in school.
Yeah.
And we're August 22nd right now.
They don't have plans. I mean, they have plans, but it's like they don't know.
Cuomo told New York State it's up to your district. Figure it out.
Yeah. Which is the way that they need to do it, because
that's the point of small government.
Well, New York City is a far different animal than like a small town in upstate New York. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Even out here, but we don't know what I don't know what PA is doing.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of do. They're saying that masks are required all day long in school. And not to go super masky, but I understand wearing masks on the school bus where you have a collective of kids all at the same time.
Yeah.
I understand wearing masks in the hallways where you have a collective of kids all at the same time. In line, in the bathrooms, whatever. Like if you're, getting lunch, fine.
Yeah.
When you have strategically laid out your classrooms to allow 6 feet of distance between all students at all times, why?
So there's actually a thing about that. People have a misconception. You talking, your particles go much further than 6 feet. The 6 feet thing is for with a mask on. That's the quote unquote max that any particle can go through a mask.
Well, you're yes and no. You're right in what you're saying, but the way that they're writing the rules and what they're making people uphold to is, if you can maintain 6 feet of distance, you don't need to wear one.
And that just shows
spaces.
How dumb our government is. But yeah,
right. So, well, I think it's a compromise.
Yeah.
But the thing I've said all along, and you can go 10 or 11 episodes back and hear me say this, is people are also acting like if you can maintain 6 feet, that's fine and good. And it's like, no, 6 feet is the closest you should ever be to someone if you have to go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously, that is not the world we're living in right now.
The only argument I'm going to make about masks in school is your kid's going to go in with Paw Patrol mask and come home with Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's going to butcher the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess where I'm going with that is, when we were in elementary school, we were in the same classroom with the same kids all day, and we might have had one or two teachers.
Yeah.
That came into our room and taught us.
Yep, that's how it was for me too.
Okay.
Except for the electives, you'd go to an art room or you'd go to a music room, but that was it.
So you do that. Why do they need to be wearing them? You're in the same room with the same teacher all day long, the same 20 to 30 kids.
Because you don't know what those people are doing in their home lives.
But it's just unrealistic.
Yeah, no, the whole thing's unrealistic. Either do it from home or...
When you get to middle school and high school, where you're all of a sudden you have a different teacher for every class, and you might have one kid in the same class as you all day long.
Yeah.
Because they mix and match and put everyone everywhere. You're like...
That makes sense. And they're mature enough to figure that out, for the most part.
They're mature enough to wear a mask and be like every other adult that has to wear one at their job all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But
when it comes to the younger kids who need the social interaction the most for development reasons, but at the same time, safety reasons and their comprehension skills aren't there.
I guess the comment is it's either safe to send your kids back or it's not.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah. I've heard some people say, like, push for making internet a public utility like electricity because of this whole situation, so that kids can have school from home. I don't have any opinion on it either way because I haven't researched it too much, but that's just something I've heard get thrown out.
Well, if you want to talk about internet too, people act like, the older generation acts like internet is a finite thing that you only have so much of.
Yeah.
And we're conditioned that way based on, like, the way we're charged for Verizon or AT&T's phone plans.
Yeah.
Where, like, oh, you used up your 10 gigs. Sorry, you're going to have to pay now.
Yeah.
And it's like, the internet is there.
Yeah.
At a high level, yes, your bandwidth can be a restricting element. But it's not like we run out of internet if we're all using it at the same time.
Yeah.
We're always, like,
if you're all on the same utility. If you're all on the same website, then, you know, the servers for that particular website can get jammed up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's as far as it goes.
And, well, in our, like, the infrastructure, the nodes and the gateways and everything, yeah, like, they'll get jammed.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're gonna run out of internet.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's like we are paying a premium price for us to get bent over on internet speeds and everything, and, like, you know, oh, we're gonna throttle you back on this, and it's like, you know what? It should be a public utility at this point.
Yeah. I just don't know. See, I agree with you, but I just don't know how it's going to get skewed by dumbass people who want to make a bunch of money off of it.
I was going to say the problem is, what has the government touched?
That hasn't been fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that's gotten better, but sure, I like your way of putting it too.
Yeah.
I guess specifically what has our government touched that's gotten better.
Yeah.
Not other governments in the world, because, one, I'm not familiar enough with their doings.
Yeah.
And the way things are. But you also run into population sizes as, like, majoring factors in that. And you're like, well, yeah, they're called a country, but they're smaller than Rhode Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
New York City has more population than, like, half of the freaking countries out there.
Yeah. So you have to look at that too in the scale of, like, what they're managing.
Yeah.
And what works for a company that's super, super small, or could work for a city in our country, cannot necessarily work across the nation.
But there's another thing too where, like, everyone can figure it out too. Yeah. Like, that's the reason why we have local government, because not all problems need to be a federal thing.
Right. Right. Well, and why every region has its own electric and water and everything.
Yeah.
It's not federal.
Yeah.
So, I think we would probably like to wrap on that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? I don't have anything else. There's nothing going on in
No.
BMX.
Yeah, nothing going on in BMX at all.
Hey, we didn't cancel our jam and steal all your money. And that's it.
All right, there you go.
Later. Thanks for
No spray painting.
Thanks for checking out the episode. Thanks for listening all the way to this point. Make sure you check out the Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
Don't check the Snapchat. He doesn't check it.
If you send me Snapchats, I will not check them until way later, and you'll forget what you sent me, and it'll be hilarious. All right, so it's at grindworks_BMX on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. It's at grindworksBMX without the underscore on Facebook, TikTok.
Wait, is TikTok still live? I thought that got banned.
No, they have 30 days from like 10 days ago or something.
Okay, so you got 20 days to hop on that if you want to for some reason.
What else? What else? I have them right here.
Oh, there you go.
Fancy sheet.
Ooh, look at that.
YouTube and any podcast app is also the at Grindworks BMX with no underscore. And I removed the Mixer thing because Mixer doesn't exist anymore. And I rebranded a lot of the stuff to Grindworks AV for my personal stuff. So
Twitch, Grindworks AV.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to promote that over here. I can, and I have, but it is what it is.
Okay. I did it, so you didn't. So.
Alright, cool. There was something else too, but I don't really remember.
Andy's totally a gamer girl. He's a titty gamer.
I'm a titty streamer. If you want to look at my man cleavage, check out my Twitch. Gross. Alright, so like and subscribe to the video on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever podcast platform you choose. Probably Apple, maybe Google.
Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, but unlikely you're on any of the weird ones like Podbean or whatever those turds are. We're on there. I don't have accounts on there, but we're on there.
Somehow.
There's some weird ones, dude.
Did they just start adding more to that website? Because I know you do one centralized website.
Yeah, I use Anchor.
Yeah.
Where am I available? I can tell you.
Jesus.
Breaker.
Okay.
Google, Apple, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher.
Okay.
And Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor itself.
Yep. So yeah, those are all things.
Cool.
Now we're just gonna ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and
ramble. 00000000046.
Ooh, lots of zeros now. Do the numbers matter?
No.
For your
spreadsheets.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
The number. I mean, I guess it does to one point right now. That because we're 3 digits, there's a complete obligation to make it to 100.
Yeah. I say you should have 46 zeros since this is number 46.
So every episode should just be a whole bunch of zeros, but more zeros?
Yes.
I like that logic. Yeah.
All right.
I think
we should be done 10
pushing
minutes
50.
ago.
We are pushing 50 though. So 50 might have to be something
ridiculous.
Sure. If I can get my OBS studio fixed, maybe we can do a live one.
All right, yeah, that sounds fun.
Because a live one for 50 could be cool. If that's the case, I'll announce it. Until then, later.
Later. All right.
Ooh.